Hi, welcome to Colleen Talks. I am so excited today to be interviewing the founder of CNH Hawaiian Grill. We're really excited to learn a little bit more about him and how he got here to his business, his pathway to success, and what he has in his future for his business. So, Mr. Henson Timo, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I moved here in 2003 to Colleen from Oregon. I retired as football coach, and I was also in the financial field. I had two kids that were stationed here. They got deployed to Iraq. As any parents, you never know whether they were coming home or not. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be here for them. So my wife and I decided to make that move down here, just to be here for them when they come home. And we had no plans we were going to open a restaurant over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we're here, kind of got bored. Days got longer because you're doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And but my wife and I decided that we wish there was a place here where we can go buy what we call in Hawaii plate lunch, mm-hmm. which is rice, macaroni, salad, whatever meat you put in there, and we couldn't find any. And so I said to my wife, there's probably a lot of soldiers that were stationed in Hawaii at some point that are now stationed here. Wish there was a place like that. So we decided to find a small place that we can open from 10 o'clock, close at 2:30, and go play golf. We found out that that was not the case, because more and more people found out that there was a Hawaiian place, and next thing you know, we're open 6 days a week, and here we are, 16 years later, we're still open.
Super successful. Yes. I know that's exactly what happened. I had the privilege to be a part of that, where that transition, my last duty station was Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. And when I got out, I mean, I would go to the gym, I would go eat my macaroni salad, my rice, and my teriyaki chicken. And then right after that, I would go to the beach, and then it would be right there out on the beach, ready for somebody has a truck up, and I would just slam that down. And I remember, coming here, I was like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of stuff from Hawaii that I miss, and I'm not gonna be able to have here. And then when I stopped at your place, my husband took me actually for lunch, and a bunch of soldiers, everybody, and went in there, and I was like, this is exactly what I don't have to make that sacrifice. I don't have to lose that. So that was really nice. Your establishment is always so full. So I know a lot of people enjoy it, and a lot of people, this is Fort Hood, so you got a lot of soldiers who are coming and having that same experience I am. So it has been really nice, and I definitely ensure that I keep you in business. I probably go there too much.
Well, thank you for the business.
Oh no, but it's been so great because it's delicious. What is one of your well, I'm sure you have all of them could be your favorite, because I enjoy everything on your menu as well. But is there anything in particular that is one of your favorite plates?
Well, teriyaki chicken, to me, it's probably, if I had to pick a plate that it really is a signature plate for us, it would be the teriyaki chicken. And the reason I'm thinking of the chicken is because we use a lot of ingredients from Hawaii. We use the soy sauce from Hawaii that was shipped from Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then, of course, teriyaki, when it comes to teriyaki in Hawaii, it's, if there was a cookout every Saturday, you'd be at the beach tasting everybody's cookouts.
Yes.
Because teriyaki chicken is something that's very big for us.
Yeah.
So that's right there, to me, is probably my favorite. In fact, I just had some this morning before.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And it's because more of the process is why there's so much flavor, because when we first opened, really teriyaki chicken was the only plate we had.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's expanded. Your menu has grown tremendously.
Yeah. In the beginning, when we first opened a restaurant, my main thing, like I said, was a plate lunch, which is rice, macaroni, salad. Those were the main ingredients or part of the menu. And then, of course, the teriyaki chicken. And so we started off with that. When growing up back in Hawaii, chicken was always part of, gatherings and so forth. And but so we started off with that, and we would have a lot of customers in the beginning that came and ask, what is Hawaiian food? And they were finding out it's nothing different from what they're familiar with over here, except that there's more of a process we marinate our meat overnight, and that creates a lot of flavor and so
Yes,
forth.
it does. And you can tell, you can taste it.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, like I said, we don't use no substitutes. It's all fresh ingredient. But that's really the secret, is marinating meat overnight. I always say that meats don't come seasoned.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning there, it's kind of, you know, going back to 2004 when we first opened in January. It was a good thing we didn't know what we were doing, because, you know, 20,000 soldiers with second ID were already in Iraq, and 2 days later, another 20,000 with the first CAV was deployed, and a lot of business, you know, went out of business.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if we knew then what we know now, we probably would have never opened Hawaiian restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course it was also a lot of faith.
Yeah.
You know, and because we had no idea we were gonna be, you know, we were gonna do this well. Yeah, if somebody told us back then that we were gonna be around for 16 years, you know, I'd probably walk away from that person because I wouldn't have believed it.
Wow.
But at that time was, for me, my attitude was, I'm just cooking for a bunch of family members.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I kind of took that attitude.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't know anything about restaurant business. I've been in many businesses before, but I've never been in a restaurant business. I didn't even know how to set my prices and all that stuff. So when I see people coming from other, you know, businesses, you know, like a Taco Bell or Pizza Hut, and you know, I'll find out what you know, what their titles are, what they do over there, and when their managers are offering free meal, and try to pick their brains.
Right.
You know, how to do food cost and so forth.
So you kind of networked in a way to figure out how to make your business work. And okay.
Yeah. But the one thing that was very clear for me in the very beginning, that there was no way I was going to compete with the established, you know, chain restaurants, you know, all the franchises. And so I figured that if I can come up with food that tastes really, really good, and if I priced it reasonable enough for a military time, and I gave customers a pretty good portion for
oh
you know,
yeah.
And so
your portions.
Yeah.
That's why it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
but it's so great. And you know what you're saying is absolutely, I can tell you, at least from my own experience, that absolutely worked. When you were, your business was in Coppers Cove, I drove all the way there, even though it was such a drive for me. It was because it was worth it. The food was worth it. The environment was worth it. So yeah, you're doing everything you're supposed to. So, and it's crazy. And what is awesome about your story is that, you know, you went into this not having that experience, and you took this idea and you went with it, and you were really, really successful. And, you know, for a lot of veterans out there who are wanting to make that, you know, that jump to, I want to start my own business and I want to do that. You know, that it shows that this is the place for it as well, you know, and it is possible. Even if you don't have as much experience, it still can be done, because what you have done has really skyrocketed your business. So what do you think is in store next for C&H Grill?
Growing. You know, we've been around for 16 years now, and I've always wanted to grow C&H other than just a small restaurant. Of course, that was not the goal in the beginning. But as I see more, you know, people reacting, you know, and you get feedback from customers and, you know, emails and, you know, from, you know, soldiers that are stationed in other, you know, parts of the country and parts of the world, and then say, you know, I miss C&H, or I wish you send me this sausage, what's your secret for your macaroni salad, and all that.
Macaroni salad.
Yeah. So I just decided, you know, let me see how far I can take this. That's kind of where we're at right now. Is we're in the process of expanding and opening more locations, and then of course with the pandemic going on, so your plans of expanding kind of altered a little bit as far as sizes and so forth. There's a lot that's, you know, in the works right now.
Yeah.
You know, but the main thing, I've actually looked into the possibility of franchising about 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We were kind of in the middle of it, and then I realized it was a lot more than I could handle, so I kind of pulled back a little bit and kind of reassess the situation, as they say in the military, adjust fire. And so that's kind of what
situation dictates making. how has COVID affected your business, and what have you done to keep that foot forward and to keep your doors open? I know for small businesses, you know, during this time, it's super difficult. You know, even some businesses, because they have some alcohol on their establishment, they can't even open their businesses.
Right.
So, and a lot of people, you know, there are a lot of people who are concerned about going out. But how have you been able to get through that?
You know, thankfully, that hasn't really affected us that much. I think in the beginning, the first week when they finally had to shut down, that we saw a tremendous drop of business. In fact, about 50%. And I was kind of concerned because I'm looking at my employees and, the possibility that we could possibly close and, and these people don't have any income to support their families. That kind of worried me a little bit. A lot of praying. Yeah. But then the next week after that, I think by that time, we were one of the very few restaurants that were still open.
Yeah.
And then of course we were taking all the necessary steps that we could to try to, make sure that not only our customers will be okay, but our employees as well. And fortunately, we had a drive-through window already.
Yeah.
And so we try to utilize that. And we took in a lot of call-ins. Of course, we shut down the dining area.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of support from our customers.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that we took those measures, they appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a matter of fact, we've increased our business for the third week of the pandemic. And so a lot of customers that we have now didn't even know who we were at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So through the pandemic, you were able to actually rise.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to hear about that, because that is something that I'm definitely trying to make sure, the whole purpose of this video is to push, who these small business owners are and remind everybody that it's not just a restaurant, it's a person, it's a way of life, it's a living, and you've definitely are wonderful to talk to and just get to know, and have been super. Your roadmap to success is just insane. From not really knowing, being here for your kids, and then just deciding, like, you know what, I think we should do this. This is something to look into. And it's very inspiring, actually.
Thank you.
And if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will, because that's great.
I mean, one of the things that we did when we opened a restaurant, and I always make it very clear with my employees, that if you don't take care of your customers, you're never going to survive. So, they've asked me many times before, some of my friends, so who's your competition? And I said, I don't even pay attention to my competition.
Right, not even.
Because if I go out of business, they're not going to give me any money anyways. So my focus is taking care of my customers. And if I take care of that, then I don't have to worry about competition. So that's always.
As a matter of fact, one of your competitions, we'll say, how was your store was once a Pizza Hut, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you cannot sell pizza?
I cannot sell pizza there. I cannot sell pizza there.
Yeah.
That was the condition of me buying the building.
That is so crazy.
For 20 years, I cannot sell pizza. But it's okay. Because
one of your ideas for moving your business forward, were you thinking about doing Hawaiian pizza, maybe?
Maybe at a different location, but not this one. Yeah, maybe we'll do some kind of a crazy Hawaiian.
Settle the arguments on people who think pineapple belongs on pizza.
Yeah.
You have a safe haven.
We'll do teriyaki pizza.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what?
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
I've got ideas for you too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the crazy thing about Hawaiian food is, a lot of people think that Hawaiian food is just, there's a special acquired taste, but it really isn't. I mean, we use the same ingredients as everybody else with any kind of food, I think, but it's more of a process than anything else. It's just like our macaroni salad. Yeah, people try. I can post ingredients on the internet, which you can really find ingredients for macaroni salad in the internet. There's so many different people put, pickle juice in there. People put potatoes. People put, mustard. So there's a lot, and I'm not saying that they're not good. It all depends on your own taste.
Right.
But it's more of the process of how you do certain things certain ways than the actual ingredient itself. And I think that's what makes a difference.
Yeah.
Just like having a burger. I mean, a burger is ground meat, and then you mush it together. But then there's burgers that are different from one place, a burger place to another burger place. So, so I think that's kind of what's unique about our restaurant. And we always kind of use this acronym called FAST, which stands for Flavor, Appearance, Speed, and Taste.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I always try to push to my employees. You gotta have flavor. You gotta plate to look good. And, we're with this pandemic that we're changing how everything is delivered and so forth. And before we used a lot of styrofoam plates, and but things has changed.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt to that change. I think that's why some of the restaurants may not survive, because they're not willing to adapt.
Right.
Yeah, I'm constantly thinking.
That's businesses all worldwide, really, too.
Yeah.
A lot of them didn't want to offer the online shopping or just keep the doors closed, and a lot of employees had to get laid off, and they didn't do certain things that could have potentially saved them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but unfortunately they're not here now.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to change with time. One of the things that we have also decided, because nowadays with this pandemic, it's really not so much, the focus is really not so much on the product anymore, but how the product is delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why there's so much emphasis on all these delivery services, and all these chain restaurants now, they're making it so convenient to the customer to order this and online app and all this. But that being said, the quality of the product is still just as important.
Right.
But the emphasis now is on how the product is delivered to the customer. So while we're doing everything that we can to make sure we keep up with time, we still cannot sacrifice the quality of the product. And I really emphasize that with my employees and my workers. And I think if we can accomplish both, and then of course you'll constantly have to innovate and grow, because I always look back at why are some of the business been around for 30, 40 years and they eventually close.
Right.
Because they have not kept up with time and so forth.
And those changes that they needed to.
Yeah. And the restaurant business is no different than any other businesses.
Right.
Yeah, and so especially the restaurant business, because it's a very tough business. Yeah, I didn't realize how tough it was until I got into it, and then like I said, it's a good thing I didn't know a whole lot about the restaurant business back then, because I probably never would have opened one. And imagine all these people would have missed out on all the food.
Yeah, for sure. So while you're super busy getting ready to open up new locations, what do you do to try and when you have your off time and you get to take a break from being Mr. Henson Timo, what do you do? And do you stay in Killeen? Are there any things in this area that you like?
I have a very boring life.
Oh my goodness.
I have a very boring life. Aside from the restaurant, I go home, I work in my house, I work at my yard, and every now and then I go play golf. There's nothing
boring about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit down and just mentally unwind, throw on Netflix, watch a series.
Yeah. I mean, that's my outlet, really, to go home and just do work around my house. And some of my friends had asked me, when are you going to retire? I don't even know what that is, because I enjoy what I'm doing.
That's when you're doing something great, is when you're happy to get up every morning. Why stop until you physically cannot?
To me, when it gets to the point where you say, do I really have to go in? I think it's time to quit.
Right.
So I don't feel that. As a matter of fact, there was times that I decided to take a whole day off. I couldn't even stay home. I had to go back in.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's a passion, I guess, if you put it that way. Even when I went to Hawaii for a couple of days, I didn't even see the beach. I didn't even touch the water.
What?
Yeah, because I was always on the phone calling. Not so much because I was worried, but it was like, it was part of me that I left in Killeen.
Oh, yeah.
And so I ended up sleeping most of the time. I was in Hawaii last year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if you ask me what I do in the, my off time, I really don't have any off time. But every now and then I'll go play golf.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you're a golfer. But it's not bad to, be really busy. That's a good thing. It means that you're still in business, you're being successful, and really to be successful, one might even say that there are no days off.
Yeah.
So, I've really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed having this conversation with you. I'm super excited for everything you have in store for C&H Wine Grill.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite establishments in Killeen.
Thank you.
It is my favorite establishment in Killeen. Me and my husband enjoy it. Everybody in PCS is here. That's where they're going for lunch. So, anything we can do to help push your business out there and, get you guys some spotlight time. Definitely am so happy to support this and make this happen. So thank you for coming in to help me have that, finally make that. I know we talked back a little while, ways back, and we brought the idea, but now to see it actually in motion and to get it and be here today to have it happen, it's really nice.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I wish you the best business, or best of luck with your business rather, and I will be still seeing you every day. So I gotta work out every time I'm eating your food because it's so good and so dangerous for me. And like you said, your portions are insane. Yeah. They're like 2 pounds when I go take it to my table. Yeah. But I love it. So thank you so much. I'm super excited for everything with you. I wish you the best, and thank y'all for tuning in to Killeen Talks.
Thank you.